Welcome back to everyone who listened to the last episode of Brew Sesh, and welcome to everyone if this is your first time listening. So last time we brewed a really sweet Jund deck around Zagras, but Aseph, you had a really cool idea for a Mardu version of this deck as well. So you've got your Outlaws Merriment. How many of those do you want to play?
The problem is that's... I don't know that that's like particular... Would you say that's hard to cast? I don't know how that...
So, right, here's the thing with the pathways. The pathways are really good at fixing your mana, but really bad at giving you double colours. Because you choose which one it is. You choose whether it's like a mountain or a plains, right? It's never both. It's not a dual land. So, like, it's really good at getting you, like, mountain, plains, forest. But it's not good at casting double coloured spells. So it's just about keeping that in mind.
Okay.
Since we're not playing temples, we're playing pathways. We're probably going to want to lean on white.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So if we're wanting to play Zagras in here too, right? So we'll take our 4 Zagras. You want to play your Morog?
Yeah, I think that card's really cool. So yeah.
I mean, I think it's a.
I think if you remember way back when, I think one of the first videos on the channel we did was the set review for Kaladesh, and how much I liked that. Oh, I can't even remember the name of it now. That red mythic that was like a double strikey dude that gave you extra attacks. What was his name? I can't remember.
Yeah. I know the guy. The guy you have to pay the energy to get the extra attack steps.
I'm a big fan of being like surprise extra attack steps, and I think that this big Minotaur dude is probably like the easiest way of doing it because it's literally just play a land. So right, if this is right, okay. So what other creatures does this deck play? Does this deck also play the? I guess this deck does play the Reanimator Cleric, yes.
Right?
So I think that deck still plays Reanimator Cleric.
Now, this deck is potentially more interested in the Magmatic Channeler, right?
Yes, I was thinking that I forgot that was a card. So thinking about it in this sort of control shell, that's probably more important in this one. So yeah, it also lets you bin like the Morogs early, and then like you've got Null Priest to reanimate them late. Yes,
or
Zagras or whoever.
Right, what? So here, this is the thing, right? I don't think this deck plays the Vampire Nighthawk.
Probably not.
Because you're looking at double white, so we don't want double black.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So what if we want to lean more heavily in white? Now this is the stuff we didn't have access to before. What warriors, wizards, and rogues are there?
Okay, so right
in white.
So let me run down the list of choice options that you have here for part.
Because now we're in white, we do get access to a lot more party payoffs like
Tazri. So Tazri's a choice of just being able to like tutor whatever you want not tutor, but like look for good stuff out of your deck.
Tazri can play the role of Rankle in this deck as well, right? But it's just like Zagras 3 and 4. 5 and 6, because like it also gets reduced for each party member.
True. Yeah, that's true. And then it's also at that point. So the problem with that is that the activation of Tazri, which you would hope to do, where you look at the top 6 and then you can reveal 2 party members and put them in your hand, is like 4 mana in this deck because you're not playing blue or green. It's
more than that, right? Because you have to still pay the red and the black, so it's 6 mana.
Oh yeah, it's 6, which doesn't seem very good. That seems like a lot of mana for drawing 2 cards.
Well, I mean, yeah. But I think she's a spicy one-off.
She could definitely be a one-off. Like, I'll give you that. She's in spice territory, which is the sort of land that I like to live in and build in decks like this. Especially when you're like control. Like, that's the sort of thing that you could see being like late stage. You like wrath the board or something like that, and then your opponent kind of stumbles and doesn't really do anything. And then you go that pass and have just that thing.
Now, there is another option now we're in white.
Yeah.
Right? Winota.
So, this was the other... again, this is another reason why going into white...
Because she's not banned. For some reason,
she's not banned for some reason. I don't know why. That card's awesome and can do some really cool stuff that... you then start getting into, like...
Are we Nota deck? Or
Exactly.
Are we a
Like
Zagras deck?
at that point, do you then just start focusing on, oh, let's build this Mardu Winota deck? Because at that point, you then just go, what the fuck are these Outlaw Merriments doing in here? And you take them out. And
Yeah, for sure.
As much as I like Winota, it's a different deck, I think.
Yeah. So, what white warriors and there's no wizards?
No, I don't think
right?
so. Not that I can think of.
You've got the guy that says you can't cast spells from anywhere except.
Is he a wizard?
So he was the guy that.
Ah.
Yeah. So he was out there to nerf
Yes.
Companion, but then they fixed Companion. And there's also the Farsight Adept, which is the draft common, the one that both players draw a card. Now there's also, now this is interesting actually, is the Jubilant Skybonder, which is just a Windrake that says creatures with flying have spells cost 2 more to target them, which is interesting with Zagras, I guess, because it means like it's harder to remove Zagras because the Jubilant Skybonder is hybrid white-blue. So it's essentially one white.
Oh, right, yeah, I forgot he was hybrid. I thought I was about to say, is he not white-blue, but he's hybrid mana?
He's
okay,
hybrid.
Yeah, that's not a terrible idea.
So that is a wizard that's on the table. There's no rogues in white, is there?
Not that I can remember. So right, let me present you with a couple of like choice options that I found, right? So we have Angel of Destiny, right? Which is huge, but as a cleric.
Angel of
Destiny.
Yes,
so it's Mythic Zendikar. It's a 5 mana 2/6 flying double striker. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you and that player gain that much life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
This guy.
and then in your end step, if you have 15 more life than you started with, the person that Angel of Destiny attacked loses the game.
Sure.
Not saying that it's good. I just really think it's cool. I just don't know what it. No, it's totally not. I don't think it's going to fit in this deck. I just think it's really awesome, and it's a cool card. That's a cleric that we can talk about for about 5 seconds and then take off the table because I don't think it's going to get played. The other one that I think potentially has a bit more credence to it is Legion Angel. So Legion Angel is a 4/3 flyer for 4 that when it enters the battlefield, you reveal a card called Legion Angel from outside the game and put it into your hand.
Yeah. Now, I'm looking at Legion Angel, right? And the problem is it costs 4, right? And if you're wanting to cast Zagras and you're wanting to cast Outlaws Merriment,
true, they're all 4s.
How many 4s do you want to play? And I think in this deck we have to be a bit stingier with because we're going to play some instants and sorceries.
Yeah, sure.
So we have to be quite picky.
Fair, I think that's fair.
Now, does this deck play Robber?
This slightly more controlling deck, does it play the 2 mana hasty red dudes?
I don't know exactly.
I don't think it does. No.
Right? No. So what other 2-drops are we playing? Are we playing the Pack Beast in this deck?
Are we playing the Pack Beast in this deck? Again, you then start hitting. Well, is this not a deck that would also play the Acquisitions Expert, right?
Yes.
Which would be your 2-drop.
So I guess he can be our rogue. He can be our 2-drop rogue. Okay. Yeah. I can buy that. So Acquisitions Expert is our 2-drop rogue. And then what do you like? What do you think of now if we're going down this reanimation path, right?
Okay.
What do you make of the warrior that you discard cards to give them indestructible?
Oh, the three
so
ones.
Season talent.
Yeah, I don't think that card's awful. I think that card, especially as a discard outlet, if we can get some reanimation or recursion or whatever. Especially, I don't know if this deck maybe plays Croxa or not. Would also fuel Croxa, but yeah, I don't hate it. I think that card's pretty good for what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Now, since you were talking about reanimation, right? What are the reanimation spells in
So this was this is where my kind of idea of reanimation kind of fell down, because there's the priest that we're playing. There's a is it Call of the I can't remember what it's called now. Call of the Disheveled or something, the one that like brings back little things, but obviously that doesn't work for
Call of the Death Dwellers, yeah. And it's converted mana cost 3 or less, which again doesn't work because like we can only ever get back one thing, because like all of our stuff costs 2 still. Yep. There's Drana.
Yeah, that's a reanimator, isn't it? But your opponent
gets to choose, right?
So they would just pick all of our little stuff.
If you get shitty creatures, yeah. And then there's like 5 mana, like stuff. So it's not great. The other one, the notable miss here is the notable we're not talking about is Kenrith.
Oh, that is a card, yeah. Forgot about Kenrith.
So
he does reanimate. That is true. And what else would he do for us? So he reanimates and he gives all our dudes haste. Is that
haste and trample? And trample death touch is a combo.
Yeah, you're right. That is a combo. Yeah.
And he gains life.
Okay, that's not awful. I don't think that's terrible. It's the actual like reanimation, like strictly reanimation thing is kind of difficult to pull off. It would have to be like reanimation as part of something else.
It's the Null Priest, isn't it? And then this deck gets to play like the I was going to say, can we play Gigantha, but we can't because we've got we've got double white. Because I was going to say, because we've been so careful to not have double colours, we could maybe play Gigantha, but we can't.
Gigantha? What's Gigantha?
It's just the companion that says you can only have. It says no card in your starting deck has more than one of the same mana symbol, and it's.
Oh right, okay, sure.
But yeah, we can't do it. Yeah. So unfortunately, no commanders in this. No companions in this deck.
So I'm trying to think about if we're doing like Outlaws Merriment stuff, which would be cool. Yep. Is there any sort of, because I know white. The problem is that we don't play blue. Because I was going to say, is there any sort of like enchantment sort of synergies that we can pull in, but only white would deal with that. So that's and then you would be looking at like stuff from Theros, I guess, that cares about enchantments. But
now there is Aura, who's the cleric that says when a cleric dies you get to get a cleric back that costs less than Aura, but again we're really spread across creature types.
We're not a cleric deck.
Mangara. Now hang on, right. We haven't mentioned Luminarch Aspirant.
Luminarch Aspirant? Oh.
Yeah.
What the hell is Luminarch?
Do you know what
I can't remember
Aspirant? It's it's a 2 mana 1/1, and at the beginning of combat it puts a +1/+1 counter.
Oh yeah, sorry, that thing. Yeah, that card's good, I think. Yeah, that card's really good. And it's a cleric.
Yeah. I mean, so are Null Priests, and we don't have the pack beasts in this deck to like
round that
smooth that over. Because right now this deck looks pretty clean in the sense that like we've got at the 2-drop slot we've got 4 warriors, 4 rogues, 4 clerics, 4 wizards.
Pretty good. That's not bad.
No 3-drops.
Okay.
What are white, red, gold cards?
So it was there was the one Ikoria one cared about. Was that the one that cared about cycling? That was the thing that like shot stuff when you cycled. The lion thing. So that didn't matter. There was the one from Zendikar's Akiri, so that's about equipment, which we don't have. Ikoria is the like 7/3 dude that has protection from a random number, or 6/1.
Oh yeah.
Has protection from 2, 3, or 4 at random. Throne. I can't remember what the red white thing is from Throne. I assume it's to do with knights, I guess.
I'd imagine so. It's probably it's the Night Lord.
Oh, sure, okay.
Yep, it's the Night Lord, and then they've also got the Warrior.
But then
Lord,
Outlaws
the courier.
Merriment is like, that's our red-white thing from that.
Yeah. There's Nahiri, who makes warrior tokens and cares about equipment. You can look at the top X card, you can look at the top 6 cards, get a warrior or an equipment card, and Nahiri deals damage equal to twice the number of equipment she controls.
She doesn't do anything unless you put it in an equipment package, which I don't think is very good. So,
nah. What about the black-white stuff? Black-white, you've got.
I was gonna say there's not a lot in black-white either. So the other thing that you have.
Well, hang on. Do you know what black-white does
What's
give us
that?
access to? Dire tactics, because we've got a lot of humans in this deck.
That's a good card.
So we just have 2 mana, exile a guy.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
We also have access to General Kudrow.
That would,
If
yeah,
we
that
wanted
would.
it.
You would need like a pretty big. I don't know how many humans do we actually have. Do we have?
Everything is humans, apart from the Null Priest of Oblivion and Zagras himself, and the Minotaur.
Okay, but all of our like little things are. And then
Are
so he
human.
gives them all +1/+1, and then he can what?
So he exiles cards from
Yeah.
the graveyard when a human comes in, and he can sacrifice 2 humans to destroy a creature with power 4 or greater.
What's that?
He feels
Yeah,
like a
that
sideboard
feels like
card.
a sideboard thing. I was gonna say.
He feels like what we're playing instead of like Scavenging Ooze in this deck,
Yes, I think that.
and we can play some dire tactics because it's not going to
Yeah.
hurt us.
White
And-
black gives us access to. You know how we're jumping for 3-drops, right? Kurnos, Hound of Athreus.
Now that is not a cleric warrior.
It is
wizard
not,
or
but it is a good dog with a lot of keywords.
He's
He's a
good
very
boy.
good boy with many keywords and some abilities that might be relevant. I just really like him because he's a well-statted thing with a lot of keywords. But
Right. Okay. Well, right. Tell you what. Right. He's got a lot of text on him, right? And he has lifelink, so he can come in. Oh my God! I just realised we can play in this deck. See if we're just going to play
Yeah.
good boys. Why don't we just play Lurrus
oh hell yeah,
in the deck?
just in the deck.
Because we're already playing like during each your turns. Oh my God! Do you know what you can do with Lurrus?
Okay, tell me what you can do with Loris.
You can kick the Null Priest from the graveyard.
Does that work?
Yeah. During each of your turns, you may cast 1 permanent with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard.
Oh,
So we are casting a spell with converted mana cost. We are casting a permanent with converted mana cost
Yeah.
2 or less. We're just choosing to kick it on the way in.
that's good.
Oh.
I like it.
Right, yeah. So we could just and like we could loop acquisition experts as
Yeah.
well with them.
Now
Like,
we're just getting into Loris. This is
like we can't play Lurrus as like a
a companion.
as
You just,
a
yeah, you just play him
companion
as
because,
a dude, as a good boy, a good little dog. That is the. Is
He's
it
a cat.
Oh, he has a cat, right?
But I like Kuranos enough that we can put 1 Kuranos. Kunoros? We can put 1 in the sideboard right now. Because it's got Vigilance, Menace,
Kunoros.
Lifelink. So that's probably pretty good against like mono red.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
that's a good defensive card, I think. Yeah.
So right, hang on. So now we've got Lurrus
do.
in the deck.
We probably have at least 3 Lurus in our deck at this point.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've written 3 Lurrus.
I'm with you.
So that's pretty good against Mildex.
That's very good against Miltex. Yeah, that's.
So at that point, we should probably just play like Lurrus removal spells, right?
So like, what do you mean by Lurus removal spells?
Like, so we're not playing like Dire Tactics. We're probably going to play like the enchantment that gives something -3/-3. And
Oh yeah, it's permanent. Yeah. You're talking about like thingy agony or whatever. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm on board. This is we're now
like-
making Lurus with a sort of like
it's called Myers
Grasp.
Grasp,
That's the one. This
-3/-3.
is now you're starting getting into like Lurus with a party package that has payoff of like Zagras and Outlaws Merriment, which I'm not opposed to because Party Lurus is not a terrible name for a deck. But
Lurus
does love to party.
He's a literal party animal.
Yes, absolutely. I love it.
That we call the deck Mardu party animal.
That's the. I like it. When you get to name a deck,
So,
that's
like-
when you know it's got to be the good stuff. Like that's the.
So we can play 2 Myra's
Yep.
Grasps. We can play the I don't know if we like. I just think that the removal spells are too good not to play. Like the actual like spell ones.
You mean stuff like Dire
No,
Tactics
like-
and like that.
I'm thinking stuff like not Bloodbeck and Blood Chief's Thirst.
Oh, the 1 mana one. Yeah,
You know, the
yeah.
thing that's like the fatal push. That
Oh
you
yeah,
can fix to kill
absolutely. You probably
planeswalkers
want to
and
play
stuff.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we can play some of those because we're not playing like, what are they called in this deck? We're not playing the giant
No.
or anything. So we probably need to play
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I mean, this deck is now pretty.
Is it
full.
already? Jeez. Okay.
What I've got right now is I've got 4 Seasoned Tallow-Blade, 4 Acquisition Expert, 4 Null Priest of Oblivion, 4 Magmatic Channelers.
Yep.
That's your party. Then you get 3 Lurus,
Mm-hmm.
the party animal.
himself.
Then you've got 4
Yep.
Zagras, which actually might be too much for this deck.
You think 3? Okay.
I think 3.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Then you've got 4 Outlaws Merriment.
That is a literal party card. Like that is the party.
Yeah. Then you've got 2 Morog,
Oh yeah, I forgot that was in the deck. Yeah.
1 Tajri.
Yep.
I'm sitting with 1 Kenrith.
1 Kenrith? Yeah, sure. I think that's okay. He can come. He can
your
come to the
spicy
party.
one-off.
Yeah.
And then you've got 4 Blood Chief's Thirst and 2 Myra's Grasps.
That works.
So that's 36 cards. And then your mana. Now the mana's pretty cool here. And another thing that's cool about, because we're not beholden to playing all these. Right now, I've just been thinking. Actually,
What?
I just want to play the adventure cards.
You want to play the adventures?
Yeah, they're just really good. Because I'm thinking, like, because we get to play, like, the Agadeem's Awakening and stuff. Like, we get to play, like, good lands in
Yeah,
this deck.
true.
So, like, we start on 4 of the black-white
Yeah.
pathway and 4 of the red-white pathway. And then we probably still need to play the black-red temple.
Probably, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so that's us got 8 of each source at the minute.
Well, that's good.
Then we can play Fabled Passages. Then we can play some of the double
Yeah, you're
space cards.
talking like Agadeem's Awakening and Shatter Skull, right? Is that the...
or the one that makes a bunch of
Various
agents.
Call? Yeah. You say a bunch,
Yeah.
it makes 2. Like that's the...
We can also play like yeah, I'm just gonna cut these Myra's Grasps. They seem awkward because like we can just play like actual, since we're like going up the curve in this deck, we can play like actual removal spells as lands. Like we can play stuff like Haggard.
I was going to say Hagra Mullen was the one that sprang to my mind.
Yeah, so we can play like some Hagra Mollins over the Myra's Grasps.
The problem is that you can't get those back with Lurus, but that's...
Yeah. Yeah,
but then I think
mean,
we're more using Lurus to keep our
I think Lurus is just
party
like a-
counter up. Like as the party
Yeah,
animal,
I
he's
agree.
there to bring people to the party. So
yeah. Now the reason I'm thinking I want to play Adventure, guys, is because like I want to have more. Maybe we just don't play the Agadeems. Like triple black seems pretty
Yeah.
hard in this deck.
I'm not opposed to the Shatter Skull one because that's only double red, but that's
Yeah, Can play a couple
I don't
of
think
those.
that's bad. But Agadeem's, is maybe a bit awkward, as is Emiria's, because that's also triple white and 7 mana.
Triple
but
white.
yeah.
And then we put in some planes. So, so how many? Hang on. So we need to play some more planes because we've got double-sided black and red lands, but not double-sided white ones.
Yes, sure.
So we probably want to play like 3 basic planes.
Is that all we have space for? I guess with the Fabled Passages, that's better.
Yeah, and then like 1 mountain, 2 swamps. So the deck now is 4 Seasoned Hallowblade, 4 Acquisition Experts, 4 Null Priest of Oblivion, 4 Nomadic Channeler, our little Mardu party, the party animal Luris, Outlaws Merriment, the literal party,
Zagras, king of the party.
Zagras, heart soul of the party, as well as Tazri.
And Kenrith. But Tazri and Kenrith are only one of, so they're like the people that you invite to the party as like a spec of.
But don't expect them to show up.
You invite them out of courtesy, and you're like, maybe they don't show up because like who knows what they're like, and then they show up, and you're like, like that sort of thing. Yeah,
big Morog himself as well. I really like the fact that Luris can like get back Null Priest, Null Priest can come back to the party and bring a friend with her.
So I think then that Null Priest takes up the in our fictional party of like the too drunk person who kind of like disappears for like 45 minutes and then comes back with like, oh, I found this guy. And you're like, oh, okay, hi, I guess.
And then like the removal package on top of that is 4 Bloodchief's Thirst, 2 Hagra Mauling, 2 Shatter Skull Smashing, and then we've got our 8 Pathways, 4 Temple of Malice, 4 Fabled Passage, and then 6 basics, 3 planes, 2 swamps, 1 mountain.
Sounds good.
Okay, so your sideboard's right. You've got two general Kudros.
We've got one of the good
You've
boy.
Got one of the dog. So what are you going to do in this deck to deal with enchantments?
So you've got, what have we got access to? So you've got access to, if you're talking about in terms of a Luris deck. So I need to double check.
Yeah, now see, this is the thing, because we should probably start thinking as a Luris deck, especially once we start like messing with the sideboard. Yeah,
this is what I'm thinking of. Like, you've got access to that guy from. Oh no, he's artifacts only. Oh, never mind. That's not the thing I'm thinking of. So how are we dealing with enchantments? What do we have? You can do... That's creatures as well. Oh, everything I'm thinking of all just deals with creatures. This is really awkward. What's that thing...
That's really surprising that white doesn't have any enchantment hate, right?
So...
Or I guess it does, it's just all in the form of...
here's my idea for this.
Right.
This might not be great, but we can see the thing.
Right, okay.
See Skyclave Apparition?
Right, now see, this is what I was thinking
that
as well.
is a card that you can get back with Luris that can deal with enchantments. Because the problem enchantments in Standard right now I'm trying to think of. It's stuff...
It's stuff in like the food deck and things.
Which are all fairly cheap from what I can remember. It's like Trial of Crumbs and all that stuff, which is not... which Skyclave Apparition can deal with quite handily.
And here's another one as well for like the mono-red matchup. We can bring in the Skyclave Cleric.
Skyclave Cleric.
So it's another cleric.
Okay.
But when it enters the battlefield, it gains you 2 life, or you can play it as a tap land.
Okay, yeah, I don't think that's bad.
So it just means you don't stumble against the red decks, and is also like a as a cleric for Zagras, and you can loop it with Luris.
That's not terrible then. Yeah, that's probably a good idea for mono red, just as a thing that you can keep picking up. But yeah, so if you're talking about, I like Skyclave because that's also got the Lurist loop in it, because you can just keep playing that and picking stuff up. Because white also has Disenchant if you just want to do that, but that's not.
Now, I think because this deck is going down like a slightly more like grindy controlling route, we actually do want to play the Agonizing Remorses in this.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And we potentially want ways to go big, with like that isn't creature based. So like against decks that are going to Rathas, right? We don't want to be playing stuff like Morag.
Yeah. So you're thinking like Planeswalkers or something like that? Is that your?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also Baneslayer Angel as well, which is just like a good.
I do love a Baneslayer Angel. That is. Yeah, I would be into having a couple of them maybe in the board for a big threat that's hard to deal with.
So Planeswalker options that we have.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to look at.
It's
not great.
Is it not? What about Chandra?
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that there's a core set that could potentially have some good stuff in it.
Yeah, Chandra's really good against control because like it's just discard your hand, then exile the top 3 cards you can play.
Yeah, that card's.
You can play those cards this turn. So it's just like so it's just like it's the last card you play, and then you're just like every turn it's just
draw 3 cards. Yeah, I think that's fine.
And
what else do we have?
The Liliana's not good. There's Elspeth.
Oh, the Night Sun's Nemesis, the one that only ticks down.
Yeah, it's not really great either. There's also Elspeth Conquers Death.
Oh, the white enchantment.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. That deals with things.
I mean, that's us pretty close to a full house, though.
A full house.
As
this party's always going to be a full house. Like, this is...
Because you've got the 3 Agonizing Remorse, 3 Skyclave Apparitions, 2 General Kudrow, the 1 Kuranos, 2 Baneslayers, 1 Elspeth Conquers Death, 1 Chandra. Actually, looking at the fact that we've already got the Kuranos and we're putting in these Baneslayers, we probably don't need the Skyclave Clerics.
Sure, yeah.
Because we've got enough 2-drops to just get in the way of like what Mono Red's up to.
You get some life gain with your...
Yeah.
Also, you can get your life gain with your Outlaws Merriments, because that can make your clerics.
I mean, I think that card...
Oh, absolutely, I was totally kidding.
So, like... Because I think you just want to, like... Against the Mono Red, it's like 4 Outlaws come out, Morag comes out, and then, like, we're bringing in, like, the Baneslayers, Kuranos, Apparitions... yeah. So sideboard here: 3 Agonizing, 3 Skyclave, 2 General Kudrow, 1 Kuranos, 2 Baneslayers, 1 Elspeth Conquers Death, 2 Chandra Heart of Fire. Got 1 more card.
That sounds like space for some spice. What can we do with one space in a sideboard? Let's see if there's anything that we could... Do we have any sort of matchup that we're lacking that you're worried about?
Well, the only thing I'm worrying about is like the food deck just going bigger than us.
Okay.
But I don't know if there's a... I mean, I feel like for that deck we just need to like just hope a removal lines up. Like it's tough. It's tough. This deck should probably play some number of Castle Lochwains as well.
Oh, just for the draw. Yeah.
Maybe trim on a temple for a castle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at our sideboard and like, although we said our sideboard should work with Lurrus, fucking none of these cards work with Lurrus.
I was gonna say, well, Skyclave Apparition does, but
no, it doesn't.
I thought Lurrus was 3 or less, or is it 2 or less?
That's
shit.
2 or less.
Okay, that's annoying. That was kind of my point about Skyclave. I thought that it worked with Lurrus, but it's not.
Nah, but I think it's still just like a good
of
course,
catch-all.
Yeah. I think probably what we do then is play the Myers Grasps in that slot then.
Yeah, sure.
In our sideboard to work with the work with the Lurrus. And yeah, and that means like we've got like a kind of, if we want to move more into like a Lurrus value deck rather than like this kind of Outlaws Merriment Zagras-y deck. Yeah, like this deck looks sweet.
I think this one has more interest and stuff than the Jund deck.
Yeah, now like I mean the thing with this deck is like, yeah, this deck has more moving pieces, which makes me a little skeptical. Like the Jund deck has like a plan that's trying to execute.
True. I think if you're trying to do something that's like if as we tend to end up doing in these sort of things where you're just trying to do stuff that you think is cool, it ends up being a lot more like moving party. Like things just sort of have to line up for you to be able to do the cool thing. But I think that the Mardu deck just having a basis of like some pretty decent 2-drops that you could then do some like cute stuff with Lurrus to look back, like pick stuff out their hand or whatever, might be able to like get us there enough to be able to hold off. And then Zagras on his own kind of helps with that as well. But we'll see. Like it would be an interesting thing to see if it works.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's we got a 2-for-1 there.
Yeah.
Two decks. We've got a pretty streamlined Jund aggro deck, and this
Mardu Party Animals.
Party Animals deck. I think both would be interesting.
I think it should be at least some interesting
to
games
run.
at least.
Yeah, like the biggest issue I had was like thinking about this is like when I was just looking at Zagras at the start, I was looking at red-black decks, and I was just struggling to see like if I'm going to be red-black, why am I not just a Crocs?
Yeah,
deck,
like
know?
that.
Like,
I was the same. Where every time I tried to do it 2-color, it ended up being either a worse version of something that already existed, or it dissolved into just not caring about Zagras anymore. It was just like,
yeah. I mean, I think this deck like is actually starting to move in that direction, but like I feel like this deck like has like 2 modes, right? This is like you can go like 2-drop and then like another 2-drop on turn 3, so you can go like 2-drop and then 2-drop Blood Chief's Thirst or 2-drop tap land or something, and then like turn 4 Zagras, and then like get some good attacks in and just try and like end the game like that. But then like if that doesn't work, then like this deck can kind of like turtle up and like try and do like Lurrus value or grind you out without.
Yeah, I've always kind of been a fan of like modal decks that can kind of shift gears when they need to, or if that's kind of been my MO as I've gone through playing a lot of Magic, so I'm kind of happy with how that turned out. But yeah, obviously the Jund deck is a lot more straightforward of just kill them, but
which might end up being better. But I think these are both decks worth experimenting with. And if anyone watching this like tries any of these decks before I get the opportunity to, like let me know. Let me know what
I would be fascinated to see not only people playing it but also people trying to improve on it. That'd be excellent to see.
Yeah, I think I'll do a couple. I think I'll do a couple of I'll play a lot of these and then maybe talk about like how to improve them as well. But no, that was really good fun. Thank you for coming. I'm
always down to brew some weird ass decks.
But yeah, like I'll run these through some standard. But yeah, that's how far we can push Zagras. I'm not sure if I've made a wise investment now that I'm looking at the.
You never know
the decks we've made. But yeah, maybe there'll
be something in what's it? Kaldheim is the next one that maybe.
Well, yeah, one can hope
that our boy.
Because I feel like all of these party things are a plant, right? Because like Like D&D is about an adventure.
Yeah, when D&D comes around, that
so, like,
party thing is going to go pretty nuts.
Yeah, even if they don't reprint party in that set, I think like, that party is actually a plant for D&D. In the same way that like Outlaws Merriment makes you go, oh, it's a party. Like I feel like they've deliberately done this. Like they've put Outlaws Merriment early on in standard so that when party comes out, you find Outlaws Merriment and you're like, whoa. And then like when Cal Time comes out, then you get like all the party cards in standard together. You get your Outlaws Merriment, you get all the stuff from Zendikar that has the party mechanic, and then like you get a bunch of good warriors, clerics, wizards.
Yeah,
and stuff.
that would be.
It's not Cal. It's not Cal. Well, Cal Time, sorry, is right.
Time.
Yeah, Cal Time's the. Well, no, Cal Time's not the D&D set.
But Kalheim is the Viking set, which you can bet will probably have a lot of warriors in it. Yeah, and then after that is Strixhaven, which you can probably bet has a lot of wizards in it. Yeah,
a lot of wizards, and then the D&D set's going to have everything, all of them again. So I mean, I think party just gets better and better. Yeah. I think in Cal Time that Red White Warriors deck will finally like that guy, the warriors can't cowards can't block warriors, and like the 3-mana warrior lord.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Stuff. Like,
I totally agree.
That's got all the setup. It just needs actually good warriors, which it will probably get in Cal Time. But yeah, that's going to be something to talk about because I don't think we're that far off Cal Time actually. When's Cal Time released?
I don't remember, but it's got to be soon, I assume.
Cal Time release date. It's early January.
Okay, sure.
So we're not far off it. I in fact remember this year actually like the pre-release happened like on like the 7th or 8th of January. Remember? Like
oh yeah, that was weird.
Pre-release this year was like super
quick into the year.
Early.
Yeah. Okay, well we'll find out.
Yeah. But yeah, we've got some sweet Zagras decks. But yeah, so thank you for listening. Thank you for coming and hang out with me, Aseph. Let's not wait another 18 months before we do the next one. We'll
try and think of more stuff to do.
Well, hopefully they just print more interesting cards to talk about.